said, I'm so sorry. I said, I am so sorry. And I told him, I said, I'm so sorry. And then, I said, this is your house. That was my words. I said, I'm so sorry. I said, this is your house. I said, I truly kept thinking like, maybe this is his house. Maybe this is his house. And he says, well, I told you this was your house. And I said, you have to understand. I said, I'm so sorry. I said, it was such an awkward encounter. I said, the truck was like starting to slow behind me. And I'm out here with my little girl and my son. And I said, I'm a mom, and it was dark. And he said, but I told you that this was my house. He says, I was driving slow because I was looking at my Christmas lights. And once again, I said, I am so sorry. And they truly, they did not take my apology. And that night, I went home. And so if you guys saw on Instagram, I shared the story twice. The only reason that I shared the story is because I was heartbroken and it was a really scary night. I've always shared everything on Instagram. And so that night, after that whole instance happened, I literally was sitting on the steps, first of all, and John kept trying to talk to me. I kept telling him I was so sorry. And I've never, just the panic. I literally could not come down from this like fight or flight. From the time that I was at the woman's house to literally 30 seconds later, telling the woman that I was just followed, to the man stepping out on the front porch and it being his house. It was like all of these different emotions. And so I'm sitting at home, literally like having this meltdown. And I kept telling John I was so sorry. Like I felt really stupid. And so on the way home, I forgot to say that the cop was driving around our neighborhood, and I'm getting all these messages. I'm so sorry. The cop was driving around our neighborhood, and I stopped him. We stopped him, and I jumped over, rolled the window down, and I said, I am so sorry. I said, I'm so sorry. I said, it was his house. It was a misunderstanding. I'm so sorry. He was like, it's okay. I'm glad everything's fine. I was like, yes, it's fine. So I ended up, we went home. And that night when I got home, I had tears, and I was making a cup of coffee. And if you guys know me, I put everything on Instagram. I talk all the time. It was an innocent mistake. I felt really stupid. I absolutely was crushed I felt like they thought I was stupid. I already felt stupid. I truly felt stupid. Like I said to them on the porch, like I kept thinking like maybe this is his house. And then like I'm running and screaming at the top of my lungs. And so yeah, like I felt dumb for sure. So I went on Instagram, in my story, I still have it archived, and I like have tears, and I'm making a cup of coffee. And I said, I was like, man, you like talk about a night. I'm like, man, my night just completely took a left turn. And I was like, super scary. I was like, I'll have to fill you guys in later. So I went live that night. And then I went live again the next morning. And I have to tell you guys, I have been on social media long enough to know that there's a lot of scrutiny. And so by me going live, I did not think that I was doing anything wrong. I was sharing the story of what happened, better safe than sorry, how scary it was, just what I went through. Like, that's the only reason that I went live. At the end, I talked about how I felt stupid and how this couple, twice I apologized and nothing came of it. And so, yeah, that crushed me. I did feel really stupid. So that is the story of that night. Many of you guys were on those lives, and so you guys know the exact emotions and state that I was in. So we are here. And it wasn't until about 2 weeks ago, maybe a little less than that John was sitting in the living room, and he called me the day prior, and he asked me a question about, did you ever say he said, did you tell the woman that he was black? And I said, no, I told her that I thought he was a young white man. He's like, I thought so. And I was like, that was really weird that he called and asked me that. So the next morning I was doing my morning reading, and he sits down in front of me, and he's like, we have to talk. And so he told me that there had been a letter floating around our neighborhood that had been posted in our mailroom that had said something about a racist profiling in the neighborhood. And so, of course, you throw racism into the mix, it gets really yucky. And that was the furthest thing from what it was, to the point of literally, we have a handwritten letter from the woman's house that I went to. I'm trying to get the Ring doorbell footage of me standing on the porch telling John when he asked, are you sure it wasn't a black man? And I said, I think it is a young white man. But she wrote a letter. She was like, I'm happy to speak on your behalf. You absolutely told me that you thought it was a white man. And so we had 2 days in a row, the letter was posted in the mailroom saying that there was a racist profiling, not mentioning our name, but it was in reference to that night. It was taken down 2 times. And then I believe there was an email sent to our HOA then asking for this letter to be sent to all the residents in our community. And after a video was sent of me, they decided to not share the message to the whole neighborhood. And so maybe 4 days ago, both videos of me, praise God, the other one, the one of me apologizing, was posted as well, which I do appreciate the transparency there. But once again, the videos were posted in our neighborhood page, attaching racism and profiling to, my name wasn't said, but the video was very clear of me on the Ring doorbell with my daughter, with me looking at the man saying, is this your home? And he said, yes. And I said, I don't believe that it is. And because of those words came out of my mouth, and because he was a black man, I have been pointed as being racist. Although it was very dark. So, and like I said, I truly, 60 seconds later, ran to the woman's house, and I told her that I thought he was a younger white guy. This is a white man. He was a white man in a truck. A young white man is what I said. And she said, okay. She goes, because that's a black family that lives there. And I said, no, I don't think that it was a black man. And then when my husband got there, I stood out front, and we're still trying to get the Ring doorbell footage of me talking to my husband. But he asked me again, he said, what house was it? And I said, it was this house right here. And he goes, are you sure it wasn't a black guy? He goes, because that's a black family. And I said, no, I don't believe that it was a black man. And so we get in the car, and we go to pick up the stroller. And I've said this a million times, I have never felt the fear that I had even just pulling up in front of the house when John opened the door to get out of the truck. The amount of, I've never went into fight or flight like that before. And so he gets out of the car, and he goes up to the woman's house, and a woman and I said no. And so I'm taking the baby jogger, and I am pushing it up the stairs. There's a couple stairs to get up. So I awkwardly am pushing my jogger up these steps. And at this point, he had backed halfway into the driveway. And so I'm sitting there, and I try to keep my cool. I try to keep my calm. You can literally, on a video, see me heavy breathing in the Ring doorbell. And Rory rings the doorbell, and nobody answers. And so I stepped back, and I said, is this your home? And remember, it's dark, the street's not lit well, and I cannot see him well. And he goes, yes. And I said, I don't believe that it is. And he says, this is my house. And I said, I don't think that it is. And at that point, the only reason that I said that was because truly the awkward encounter of slowing up behind me, talking to us multiple times. I'm in this frantic state. It's late at night. I got my kids, my 2 babies. The lady at the door is not answering. There's no other homes that are well established. I mean, there's construction. It's a corner house. I'm just thinking, oh my gosh, I'm on the front porch. This truck literally is halfway up the driveway. And I was like, my radar was like, nope, I don't think that this is your house. And so I said, I don't believe that this is your house. And so I'm starting to unbuckle Cash, and I grab, and I freak. I go, Rory, run. And so I take off the porch, and I literally run as fast as I can, screaming at the top of my lung. I'm getting all these messages, I'm so sorry. Screaming at the top of my lung. I've never, ever screamed the way that I screamed. And I'm running through the front yards of everybody, praying that the Ring doorbell would capture us. Finally, to get to a woman's house, I'm bang on the door. And at this point, I'm dialing 911, and I said, can I please come in? And the woman said, yes, come in. And so I'm staying there, I'm talking to the sheriff, and more than anything, I was not looking for him to come to my rescue at this point. My husband was gonna come. I'm in this woman's house, the door is closed, and I tell the man, he said, do I need to come out? And I just said, no. I said, I was just calling to let you know that this just happened. My husband's gonna come get me. And he says, he asked me if I wanted him to come out, and I said no. And so the woman then, I was
2025, we gotta look alive. We gotta do better. We're gonna be real simple. I'm not gonna lie, this lady products need to be boycotted. She need to be shut down. Her business need to be shut down. She need to be fucking investigated, bro. She called the police on a fucking black man who did nothing, pulling up to his house in his car. I just so happened to be in my car at my house. What if somebody just called the police on me for just being on my fucking camera, being on YouTube? Bro, it's disturbing. It's disgusting. It's really like, we gotta, man, FBA, we need to tighten up, bro. Black people, we gotta, man, shit go like this, it can't go unnoticed. I love that this was published. I love that we can see it. I don't respect this woman. I mean, I got a lot of respect for her husband, though, because, you know, in this time, he's really taking it better than most. You know what I mean? He could have been back on the net woofing, bro, but he need to let this up to his wife. His wife caused this drama. His wife caused this. His wife caused this problem. You know what I mean? And speaking of the HOA, you gotta listen to the video. Listen to things that she's saying this shit. She's not really sorry, for one. For two, they typed up some sort of apology letter that was supposed to go around the houses of the HOA, and then the HOA seen that the video was hers, so they stepped back from it. Like, you gotta understand who these people are, family. Like, man, even in wrong, they get on code to come together. Even in the worst times, if it's a lie, white people they come together. They don't give a fuck. She just said that HOA told her that they wouldn't even press the letter to send out to the neighborhood, let alone this video. Thank God for videos and camera, man, or else the public, we wouldn't even see this shit. HOA needed to kick her the fuck out. Cause why are you causing this disturbances? Like the man said in the video, ma'am, in Ohio, this is one of the best neighborhoods to be in. You shouldn't have to worry about that. This is the words that came from that brother's mouth. With all this taken in, family, I'm just saying, as a black man, you don't really have to do anything to get in trouble. You don't have to do nothing to break the law. You just gotta be you. You just gotta be you. You just gotta have this. As long as your color is this, you in trouble, man. We endangered species. We in danger. And the way these people play it, man, they just don't give a fuck about human life. I don't know where in America. Well, I'm sorry, yeah, Ohio. But other than that, I've never even heard of no shit like this. Coming home, and now I'm getting accused of damn near kidnapping. He lucky, man. We lucky we got some sort of camera. That man would have went to jail for kidnapping, man. Or some sort of stalking and profiling shit. You know what I mean? All on the account of her. All on the account of this lady. All on the fucking account of this lady. So I don't accept nothing. I don't accept her fucking apology. I want her shut down, bro. Like I said, we need to boycott her products. Boycott her. She shouldn't even have a fucking voice. This is all I needed to see. Man, listen. I ain't fucking with this one. Nah.